In the late 2000s, Cobra Starship were the glitter-covered punks who snuck into the top 40 club with guitars, neon shades, and purple hoodies. A band seemingly born because of the Snakes on a Plane movie that was released in 2006. And for a handful of years there, they were absolutely everywhere, but then they vanished. So, what happened to Cobra Starship?
What's up? My name is Tyler Common, this is Common Revolt, and this video has been a long time coming for me. Because as you can see, I've been talking about Cobra Starship for a very long time. In this video, I'm going to do a deep dive into Gabe Saporta and Cobra Starship's career, discussing their rise to fame and their decision to call it a day at the tail end of their commercial success. But to do that properly, I'm going to rewind all the way to the beginning. So now would be a great time to hit that subscribe button and hit the like button. So join me in my attempt to answer the question, what happened to Cobra Starship? Gabe Saporta's music career started long before Cobra Starship. In the late 1990s, as a teenager in New Jersey, he helped form the pop-punk band Midtown. Midtown would emerge around 1998 in the thriving emo and pop-punk scene, with Gabe Saporta as vocalist, bassist, and lyricist. They quickly gained attention, releasing an EP and 3 albums during their run. Midtown wrote catchy and melodic punk songs, which fit right in with the Warped Tour era contemporaries like New Found Glory, Motion City Soundtrack, and The Starting Line. They toured extensively and gained a loyal following in the early 2000s emo and pop punk circuit. But during this time, Gabe wasn't just a performer, he was immersing himself in behind-the-scenes music business. He briefly managed New Jersey band Armor for Sleep and networked heavily in the local label scene. He also played a big part in why New Found Glory was signed to Drive Thru Records in the first place. Saporta had ties to Eyeball Records, a small New Jersey label pivotal to bands like My Chemical Romance. Midtown often shared stages with other rising acts. They were all part of the same DIY network that helped give New Found Glory and My Chemical Romance their early exposure in the scene. These connections and Gabe's hustling mindset set the stage for his next chapter. By 2005, after roughly 7 years, Midtown had run its course. Internal tensions and the shifting musical landscape led to the band's breakup. And all the while, Gabe was still itching for something new. He has later described this time in his life as pivotal, and after years of pop punk, he wanted to explore different sounds and have more fun with music. This laid the groundwork for a dramatic reinvention. The idea for Cobra Starship was born in an unlikely place, the Arizona desert. Following Midtown's breakup, Gabe went on a soul-searching vision quest in 2005, spending time alone in the desert, and according to lore, experimenting with peyote. In that introspective moment, he imagined a project that would be lighter, cheekier, and dance-friendly. A stark contrast from the music that Midtown was known for. During Gabe's trip to Arizona, he claims to have been bitten by a snake, and that whole experience inspired him to start Cobra Starship. Armed with a new vision, Saporta returned home and immediately got to work. He secluded himself in a house in the Catskill Mountains and began writing songs for what would become Cobra Starship's debut album. One of the tracks he created was a playful parody called Holla Back Boy, a response to Gwen Stefani's Holla Back Girl, which he uploaded to MySpace. And it generated enough buzz that it caught the attention of his friend Pete Wentz, bassist of Fall Out Boy and founder of Decadence Records. Decadence and Fuel by Ramen were home to many hot pop-punk and emo acts in the mid-2000s, and Pete Wentz had a huge hand in that. He ended up signing Cobra Starship, and in mid-2006, makers of the campy thriller Snakes on a Plane, starring Samuel L. Jackson, needed a theme song. And when Pete Wentz and Crush Management approached him, he thought the song, which initially was titled Bring It, would be perfect for the film. After changing a few things and rewriting parts to be specifically about the movie, Saporta also enlisted the help of William Beckett, lead vocalist of The Academy Is, and Travie McCoy, the voice of the band Gym Class Heroes, both label mates of Cobra Starship at Decadence Records. Maya Everson of the band The Sounds would also take part in the track. The song became a minor hit, but it was a cult favorite and the perfect breakout track for Cobra Starship, playing during the film's closing credits, ensuring that everyone that left the movie theater would leave with the chorus of Bring It stuck in their head. Encouraged by the success of the single, Saporta finished recording Cobra Starship's debut album While the City Sleeps, We Rule the Streets, handling most of the instrumental recording himself, with the album dropping in October of 2006. This debut album set the stage for Cobra Starship's signature style. And come 2007, the project was transitioning from a one-man studio project into a real band. Gabe began recruiting permanent members to take Cobra on the road, which would later be comprised of drummer Nate Navarro, guitarist Rylan Blackington, and bassist Alex Suarez. Their initial guitarist,
Elisa Jordana would be replaced by Victoria Asher, solidifying the classic lineup of the band as we knew it. With a full lineup in tow, the band really hit their stride. They spent 2007 on the road and in the studio, honing in on a more cohesive sound, completing multiple tours with Fall Out Boy, which led to Patrick Stump, the voice of Fall Out Boy, to writing multiple songs with the group while on tour together. Stump would produce the band's next album, Viva La Cobra, known for tracks like Guilty Pleasure and The City Is at War. While this album wouldn't produce a radio hit, it cemented the Cobra Starship identity within the Warped Tour subculture. By the mid-2000s, the era of neon pop punk was in full swing, with Cobra Starship being one of its defining acts. I mean, come on, I've been saying this for years. In retrospect, Alternative Press magazine would describe this period of time as the epitome of the neon era of alternative music, and Cobra Starship was at the helm of that movement. The way the band carried themselves set them apart from their peers, and as their motto went, Fangs Up, a call to arms for Cobra fans to stick out two fingers like fangs and embrace the silliness. Cobra Starship toured relentlessly in 2007 and 2008, building a reputation as a must-see live act, and standing out in the 2008 Vans Warped Tour. When the time came for their third album, Hot Mess, in August of 2009, they were launched into top 40 superstardom, thanks in part to the song Good Girls Go Bad, featuring actress and singer Leighton Meester, best known for her time on the TV show Gossip Girl. The chorus of this track was undeniable, and it became a summer smash. It reached number 7 on the Billboard Hot 100 and gave the group their first mainstream hit. The track would be certified as double platinum, and as a band that was started as a quirky side project, this was huge. Suddenly, Cobra Starship was all over MTV and pop radio, raising their profile far beyond the Warped Tour crowd. The album's title track, Hot Mess, was a hit in its own right, and track 2 on this record, Pete Wentz Is the Only Reason We're Famous, to this day is probably the most quintessential Cobra Starship track, encapsulating everything that I love about the group. Critics noted that Hot Mess captured the essence of the late 2000s club scene, and reflecting on how emo pop had fully embraced synthesizers and dance beats. The band began performing on TV shows, did late-night talk show appearances, and toured with pop acts like Justin Bieber. While riding the band's new wave of top 40 success, they would release their fourth album, Nightshades, in August of 2011. And by this point, Cobra had fully transformed into a dance pop outfit, leaning heavily into electro-pop production and club-ready hooks. And with this came their next hit single, You Make Me Feel, featuring the artist Sabi, which would also become the band's second Hot 100 top 10 hit, peaking at number 7 on the charts. The song's music video even featured a cameo from actor Robin Williams. Also, does anyone remember the Mac Miller collaboration on this album? I think it's insane that the first time I ever heard his voice was on the track Middle Finger. With the success of You Make Me Feel, Cobra Starship could no longer be labeled a one-hit wonder. But despite this, the Nightshades era also hinted at challenges ahead. The album received mixed reviews and lower sales, and by 2012 and 2013, the band would slow down their once hectic output. The band members began to pursue side projects, and by late 2014, guitarist Rylan Blackington and bassist Alex Suarez quietly left the group in order to pursue other endeavors, which marked the end of the core lineup's decade-long run. But Gabe Saporta wasn't ready to close the book just yet. In August of 2014, after a brief hiatus, Cobra Starship returned with a new single called Never Been in Love, featuring the Swedish electropop duo Iconopop. They even performed it on tour, with 2 new band members in tow, featuring bassist Eric Halverson, best known for his time with A Rocket to the Moon, and guitarist Andy Barr. The track was a bubbly 80s-infused pop tune, a bit of a departure from their earlier sound. Never Been in Love didn't replicate the success of their earlier hits, and no full album materialized from it. In November of 2015, after nearly 10 years, Cobra Starship announced their breakup. Gabe Saporta personally broke the news in a statement to Billboard, explaining that he was ready to close the book on Cobra Starship and move on. He had achieved everything he wanted to with the band, multiple hit songs, 4 albums, world tours, and he felt like it was time to evolve once again. He later revealed that the realization dawned on him once finding out his wife was pregnant. He didn't want to be on tour all the time. He wanted to stay home and raise his family. And can you really blame him for that? I can't. With Cobra Starship behind him, Gabe pivoted to a new role in the music industry and launched a talent and management firm called The Artist Group, alongside his friend Mike Carden, guitarist of the band The Academy Is. In a 2019 interview looking back onto his career, Saporta spoke very candidly about stepping away from the spotlight. Speaking to Billboard, he said, "I took a swing at pop. I experienced it to its fullest," referring to his run with Cobra Starship. And when asked if he missed performing, without hesitation, he said, "Not at all." For a long while, Cobra Starship lay dormant, preserved in mid-2000s nostalgia playlists. And in September of 2021, 6 years after the breakup, the band sprung onto their social media again, essentially to promote a pressing of the album Hot Mess onto vinyl, with Gabe Saporta even posting a parody of the viral Steve from Blue's Clues message. And in the clip, Gabe speaks directly to the camera, addressing Cobra Starship's now grown-up fans, about why he decided to leave the band behind. His other band, Midtown, would later reunite in 2022, performing some shows with My Chemical Romance and other various festivals. And it really seemed like there may not ever be a Cobra Starship reunion. But it was soon announced that in October of 2024, the band would come out of retirement to perform Viva La Cobra at Wimmer Young Festival in Las Vegas. And of course, the set featured a cameo from Fall Out Boy's Patrick Stump. The band also performed in December of 2024 for the 10-year anniversary of Emo Night. It has since been announced that the band will take part in Warped Tour in California this year, in addition to Riot Fest in Chicago. It is worth noting that the band's reunion shows have not featured guitarist Rylan Blackington or bassist Alex Suarez, who are both known for their time as part of Cobra Starship's original core lineup. In addition to the artist group, Gabe Saporta has also launched a skincare company called Brodige. Vicky T has released music of her own as a solo artist. Drummer Nate Navarro has continued to play in various bands, notably Armor for Sleep. Lead guitarist Rylan Blackington has become a major songwriter and producer, working with artists like the Jonas Brothers, Kelly Clarkson, The Night Game, and even collaborated on a track for The Weeknd. Bassist Alex Suarez filled in for Gabe Saporta during Midtown's reunion after he broke his finger, and makes music as a house and techno artist out of Brooklyn called Lefty. In the end, the story of Gabe Saporta and Cobra Starship is one of reinvention and having a blast while doing it. Gabe started his career in the gritty basements of New Jersey punk. He reinvented himself as the glittery frontman of Cobra Starship that headlined Warped Tour, reinvented once more as a pop hitmaker, and once more as a music industry mentor and artist manager, and also skincare salesman. Through Cobra Starship, Saporta and his bandmates paraded the idea of self-expression, novelty, and individuality during a time when the alternative scene was a little too serious. As the mid-2000s emo and pop punk generation grows older and trades in neon for business casual, Cobra Starship's music has taken on a nostalgic glow. Hearing that the band has finally begun doing reunion sets, including an appearance at the Fall Out Boy tour last year, not for a full comeback, but to celebrate what once was, and reminisce, and maybe even cash in on a few festival paychecks, feels like the proper send-off that we never got for Cobra Starship. I only ever got to see Cobra Starship perform once back in 2009, so I'm hoping that Riot Fest gives me one last chance. In their farewell statement that they released in 2015, if you stop reading this now, I want to say thank you. Now it's our turn to thank them for the music, the memories, and the purple hoodies.
Hangs up, Cobra Style. Cobra Starship, Common Revolt, Forever.